We are Southeastern 16 as we cover SEC football. I'm Chase Robinson as we continue with three bold predictions for all 16 SEC teams. Today we're going to talk LSU Tigers. But first, let's talk about Bet Online, the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything online sports betting. Right now, you can receive a 50% free bet of up to $250 on your first deposit to bet on anything from the Olympics to baseball to Formula One racing. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, you can go over to the online casino, get in on a game of blackjack or poker, unwind with one of the over 150 slots games. Head over to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. That is promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, for your 50% free bet credit. Bet Online, the game starts here. So the LSU Tigers heading into a new season as Brian Kelly heading into year number 3 as head coach there of the Tigers. Last year, of course, the offense dynamic. You had the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback Jayden Daniels leading the way. Defense was the problem a year ago, though. That kept them from really winning a lot of the games that Jayden Daniels kept them in. They've made the necessary improvements in the offseason to have a better defense, including adding Blake Baker to the staff, formerly at Missouri as the defensive coordinator, now in Baton Rouge looking to lead the LSU defense. Garrett Nussmeier steps in as quarterback for the Tigers. He's been waiting his turn. So it should be an interesting year for LSU. So here are three bold predictions that I have for the LSU Tigers. So the first one, I just mentioned the defense was a big issue last year. They gave up 28 points per game, gave up 255 yards passing, 161 yards rushing. Just not a good year defensively at all. My bold prediction is LSU finishes as a top 5 defense in the SEC. Now, last year, they finished 13th in the SEC. Of course, last year, only 14 teams. Vanderbilt was the only team under LSU. So, a bold prediction. I mean, I definitely think they're going to make big improvements this year, but bold prediction, top 5 defense in the SEC is the LSU Tigers. Now, again, you've got Harold Perkins and Greg Penn, both at linebackers. You got Zion Alexander on the corner. Major Burns is going to be a good safety option there for the LSU Tigers. So they've made a lot of improvements. I think defensive line is where they're really looking to use some of these pieces that they've gotten out of the portal to help them there. But They do have some experience and some veteran guys on the defense, so I think that will definitely help. But I would say it's pretty bold to say you're going to go from 13th in the SEC in defense to a top 5 SEC defense. But it certainly could happen. And again, I think they've made necessary improvements, including getting a really good defensive coordinator in Blake Baker to come. So that will definitely be interesting to see. So that's my first bold prediction. My second bold prediction, quarterback Garrett Nussmeier has a 3,000-yard season. So Nussmeier, he's been a guy who he's been sitting under these starting quarterbacks and just waiting his turn at LSU to get a chance to take a shot at being the starting quarterback. He did get that chance in the bowl game, and he threw for 395 yards, 3 touchdowns in the win over Wisconsin. Also had that 98-yard drive that looked really nice. And so he's been waiting his turn. He finally gets the opportunity to be the starting quarterback. And I think he'll have a great year. He's got good receivers around him. He's got a very experienced offensive line. And so I think that will prove to be good. While we've talked about the defense has got a lot of improving to do, I certainly think the offense is in much better shape than the defense there at LSU. So my bold prediction, Nussmeier just comes out firing and has a 3,000-yard season for the LSU Tigers this year. And then my third bold prediction for LSU is that the Tigers play for the SEC championship. This is a team that I think when you look at the predictions of what people think the playoff will look like, this LSU team is a team that's definitely kind of on the bubble. They're just outside of some people's consideration for the playoff. But you look up and down their schedule, they've got start out with USC, but they do get Ole Miss at home. They get Alabama at home. They get Oklahoma at home. I think those are three very good teams to have coming to Baton Rouge. Probably all 3 night games, maybe afternoon games. You go to A&M, go to Florida and Arkansas and South Carolina. But I like the way the schedule falls for LSU. I think it's favorable for them. It's not easy by any means, but the way the games fall, the teams they get to host, I think it definitely falls in their favor there. So bold prediction, LSU plays for the SEC championship. We'll see if that can happen, if they can get back there as they did a couple of years ago in Brian Kelly's first year there with the LSU Tigers. My bold predictions for LSU is that they finish with a top 5 defense in the SEC, and that Garrett Nussmeier has a 3,000-yard season, and that the Tigers play for the SEC championship. Those are my 3 bold predictions for the LSU Tigers in 2024. We'll have you covered with all things LSU football, as well as the rest of the SEC, all 16 teams. We've got you covered here on Southeastern 16, not only with football, but also basketball and baseball. We have weekly shows for each sport in conjunction with all the videos that we put out as well. We've got team previews on all 16 SEC football teams. We've got schedule previews on all 16 SEC football teams. So you can go check those out on our channel that we've done. We're continuing to get you ready for SEC football season, just a few weeks away from getting it kicked off. Subscribe to our channel, like this video, drop a comment as well, share with your friends, spread the word about Southeastern 16. As we get into the season, we'll be having game predictions, game reaction, everything that you need to keep you informed with SEC football year-round, but especially as we get closer to the season. So subscribe to our channel. If you want to sponsor our content, you can shoot me an email, chase@southeastern14.com. We will have you covered with all things SEC football. I'm Chase Robinson here for Southeastern 16.